Hi, people. Thank you for stopping by Building Wealth with Rajiv. And more importantly, a big warm welcome from Singapore. Just wanted to take some time of yours today to go through Sea Ltd earnings. Many of you would know Sea Ltd is a Singapore-based company. Although I find it very ironic that when you talk to an average Singaporean and talk about Sea Ltd, many of them may not know what Sea Ltd is. But when you talk about Shopee, things immediately change. Over a period of time, Shopee has become a significant brand name in Singapore as well as Southeast Asia. Our company has done exceedingly well over the last couple of years. It continued its great performance even this quarter. Before we go into the earnings, let's take a look at what Sea Ltd does. I think many of you would know, but just a brief, kind of a recap for all of you. Now, it's a global consumer internet company. That's how they call themselves. Mission is very, very simple. If you look at the mission, our mission is to better the lives of consumers and small businesses with technology. I think it's a fantastic mission. It has, bit of a, it has business angle to it, but at the same time, they want to work with consumer and small business to make their lives better. If you read below the line, it does reflect what the foundry is all about and what the company is all about. So that they're working in partnership with community, consumers, and small businesses. It matters a lot. It matters a lot from both marketing perspective as well as from partnership perspective. Now, what is their products and services? They're into gaming, Garena, they're into e-commerce, and they're into fintech, C-Money. Now, if you are following, secular trends, these are really, really powerful trends, and they seem to be on the right side of the trend. So it's really, really fantastic. Let's go through their earnings now. This is their earning document, which they printed. The revenue growth, I think it's one of the most important matrices for the growth businesses. And if you see that there is a huge increase in year-on-year growth, it's 159%. It's not a joke for the company of this size, growing from 882 million in second quarter of 2020 to 2.2 billion in second quarter of 2021. It's just amazing. It says two things. It says the company management or the company team is fantastic, but at the same time, it does talk about the business it is in, which is in the right side of the secular trends. Look at the digital entertainment business. It's gone up by 45% across 2 quarters. That's amazing. And then if you look at these quarterly paying users, this is also a good bit to look at, because how many people are more people paying for your services or not? There are no free riders, so it has gone up by 85%. So another very good sign. Look at their e-commerce business. I think their gross orders have gone up by 127% quarter on quarter. The gross merchandise value, which is one of the key metrics for e-commerce business, how much total business they have, is gone up by 88%. This is also amazing. Digital financial services, which is the C-Money business. It says they've done about $4.1 billion US dollar in mobile wallet. It's about 150% compared to the second quarter of 2020. That's really impressive. And there are paying users. There are about 32.7 million quarterly paying users, which has gone up by 109%. So, it's not that the people are riding free. They're paying for the services as well. So this is fantastic. Now look at the gross profit. Now, gross profit, year-on-year gross profit performance, 364%. I think it's monstrous. There is no other word for it. This is monstrous. Company of this size going from $200 million to about $930 million. It's just phenomenal. Now, I think some of you might just get concerned about EBITDA, which is earning before income tax depreciations, etc. This has gone down. So, but why has it gone down? You might want to take a look at it. So the cost of acquisition, I think, has gone up. Sales and marketing expenses, I think it's about 2.5 times, which has gone up. General administrative expenses have gone up. Research and development expenses have gone up. Now, I would focus on these two more. Sales and marketing expenses is a business. Shopee is such a big part of their business. They really need to spend money. The deliveries have to be free. They need to promote themselves. So I think it's the right thing to do. And research and development expenses, I think this is also, it's gone up by more than 100%. This is really fantastic because the company is really, really spending money on its own to grow. Now, for growth businesses like Sea Ltd, I would suggest that you look at the revenue growth, which is a more important metric, and then look at what the company is doing to accomplish that. If they're doing the right things to accomplish that, that's fantastic. And we'll go through a little bit more details in terms of what their chairperson thinks about, or what their CEO thinks in terms of how their company is doing, what's his vision, which should give you some further directions into whether they are executing correctly or not. Because for growth businesses, they have strategy in place, fantastic businesses, but if they're not executing well, if they're not executing on point, then it's a bit of a cause of concern. So the company has net loss. I wouldn't bother so much about this number. We would see them going to positive earnings in sometime soon, and they should do it because they're on a particular growth path, and they need to come to that stage. But for the stage they are at, they're doing a fantastic job. In terms of whether the company has cash equivalent, or short-term investments, I think they're sitting about $5.6 billion, 5.6 US billion dollars, and that's significant. That's fantastic. What the company has done is, and the Wall Street loves it. They've exceeded their expectations for 2021, what Wall Street expected, and then they've raised their 2021 guidance also for their digital entertainment bookings and for their e-commerce businesses. So if you see that in terms of the earnings, it's really good. They've broken all the expectations for 2021 Q2, and the full year guidance has been raised. Wall Street, as I said, Wall Street loves it, and there has been a positive price action also in the stock market after that, which we'll go through. Yeah. Now let's do a bit of a look at the company as such. This is the shareholder letter, and this is a transcription of basically what the speech was, or when the results came in. Forrest Li is the CEO, and I think he's a fantastic CEO in my view. He's a principal shareholder in the company, so he has a lot of skin in the game. I think, if I'm not wrong, he's about more than 20% share in Sea Ltd. So you can see that he makes a lot of decisions. His wealth depends on it, and that's a critical factor, because if his wealth depends on it, if it's his life, he's going to do everything to make the company do its best. He's young. I think it's about 48, 49. He's Stanford educated, inspired by Steve Jobs on innovation. So fantastic CEO. Now, some of the things which I really liked in his report, or which in speech, is how they are going to work with the communities. I'm a brand strategist as well, and the way the society is moving through towards the sustainable development is very important. Your role in the communities, and what they have done is they've doubled down their role in the communities during the COVID. Indonesia is one of the biggest market in Southeast Asia, and they're making the partnership with the governments. That's very important in Asia specifically. West Java is the biggest population in Indonesia, and they are creating shopping centers there to serve the local e-commerce hubs. So they're working with the government to create an infrastructure. This is very, very important. In Vietnam, they've launched something called Shopee Farm to enable Vietnamese farmers to go digital. Again, working with the community, helping penetrate to the lowest denominator as well. It's a very important role they're playing. In Malaysia, they are again helping the government with eBelia program. It's an initiative which is launched by Malaysian PM, to help ease the financial burden and promote cashless spending by the young people. So there is a particular age group, I think 18 to 20 age group is the target. So you see that they're working with young population here, and which is going to grow old, and they are the future consumers. So they're doing all the right moves here. I think we've gone through the results, but a little bit more in terms of Garena is, as I said earlier, they have three businesses. They have gaming business, they have e-commerce business, and they have C-money business. Now, Garena business, which is their gaming business, is their cash cow, and I think that's one of the competitive advantage of the company also, because they're using the influence, the might, the money from Garena and funding, other businesses as well, which is really great. And if you see that Garena businesses bookings were about 65% up, and Garena is a money making business. For example, Shopee and Sea Money are not yet profitable, but Garena makes money for them, and you can see that the EBITDA has gone up by 70% last year. They're going into esports as well. They're setting up some new records there again, making some really really nice moves out there. Uh, Now, if you look at Shopee, Shopee is going to be a critical factor in their business growth in the future, and how they perform, because uh, one business is already profitable, and Shopee is something which needs to be watched out. So in terms of the volume business, they're doing pretty good. Their GMV has grown up by 88%. GMV is actually gross merchandise value. It's one of the key matrices you look for the e-commerce businesses, how much they're selling. So this is really really good. And if you look at whether Shopee is being downloaded, whether Shopee is being used, according to App Annie, Shopee is the most downloaded app on Google App, second most downloaded app across the Google Play and iOS app stores combined for the shopping categories globally in the second quarter. I think this is fantastic. People are spending a lot of time in Shopee. Being in Singapore, I can tell you that Shopee is doing a fantastic job in terms of localizing and using data. So uh, you know uh, you can know when you're somewhere, that what purchase you have to make, what is available. So they're kind of updating you in the real time, which is really good thing. uh, Now, Shopee's EBITDA loss per order has declined by 20% year on year. This is a good sign. I mean, the company is not making money, the Shopee is not making money, but they're able to reduce their losses per order, which is also fantastic. Now, Shopee Malaysia has become second market after Taiwan to record a positive adjusted EBITDA. So that's good. I mean, their focus is in Southeast Asia, is obviously Indonesia, Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand, these markets. And out of those couple of markets, two markets are EBITDA positive at Shopee, positive development. One thing you might want to know that, and some of you might know actually, Shopee has gone into Brazil. They are going into Latin America as well. I think I'm not particularly very sure that why they targeted Latin America, but my thinking is that e-commerce businesses in developing and developed world, they work slightly differently. So LATAM will come pretty close to Southeast Asia in terms of cultural diversity, in terms of infrastructure. So what Shopee can do is probably what they learn in Southeast Asia, they can implement in Latin America. So it's a fairly smart move. And what they're looking at, again, according to App Annie, Shopee is ranked first in Brazil by downloads and total time spent in app. Now, this is really cool because in LATAM there are some really really big competitors like Mercado Libre, and going into their turf and performing so well. They're doing something really really right. In terms of Sea Money, again, they continue to perform well, as we've said, as we've seen. Their mobile wallet services is going up, and again, they're making all the right connections. They're working with in Thailand. They're working with F&B chains. They're working with Mastercard in Thailand. They're contactless. In the COVID, that matters a lot. Again, as we talked about in terms of uh, local government participation, they're working in Malaysia in e-Belia program, educating the young population 18 to 20 to go digital and use Sea Money. Again, making all the choosing the right target respondents, helping the society, being part of the society, enabling the society. Now that's something which goes pretty much in line with the mission they have. So you can say the company doesn't have double standards out here. They're making money, but at the same time making a very positive impact on the society. Uh, and that's how Forrest Lee finishes his speech, that our performance in the first half of the year has been strong across all our business segments. Our conviction in the size of the long-term opportunities we're addressing, as well as the positive impact we're making in our communities, has only grown. So very committed to the community, very committed to the business, very committed to delivering the value. Fantastic CEO. So I think this as a shareholder in Sea Limited and somebody who's going to acquire more and more shares from a long-term perspective, it really gives me a lot of comfort that I'm putting money in a company where the CEO is fantastic. CEO is cares about the society, cares about the how to run the company, and draws a very nice balance between his responsibility towards the society and his responsibility towards the shareholders. It might be just good to idea to take a look at what market is thinking right now, or what the analysts are thinking about the stock. And if you look at this, this is tip ranks. I use it sometimes to see what market is saying, what analysts are saying. I personally, I don't take everything for granted what the analysts are saying, but it just gives me a bit of an idea of what they're thinking and where the situation is. Now, if you look at this, let me show the stock analysis. How the stock has moved over last, this is 1 year. I think a year ago it was 152, and now it's about $300, $318. So in 1 year it is appreciated by 100%. But if you look at 3 years, or maybe let's say 5 years, I think it got listed about four years ago, I guess. So if you see that it's the price was what, $11, and now it's about 380. So somebody who's lucky to get it $11 is now sitting at $318. That's about 30 times in the last 4 years. That's insane. That's an insane growth the company has given. So bringing back the point that a right mix of shareholder and society, it's really fantastic. What are analysts thinking about them? What is their price target? Now, again, as I said that, and I take it with a pinch of salt. I don't completely go by it, but it just gives me certain directions. So the highest price target is about 355, lowest is 270, the average is 325. It's a strong buy. Now, what generally I've seen that after the earnings come out and they're strong, they've beaten the existing expectations and they've revised themselves upwards. A lot of these analysts revise their expectation or revise the prices, because this is all calculated based on the existing information they have, and now they have new information to put in their model and recalculate. So they'll be recalibrating it. I'm sure there'll be some analysts or some market people coming out with the upward revision in Sea Ltd. I would be very surprised if they go down and reduce the pricing. If you have tip ranks, you can take a look at how these analysts are rated. So, for example, this gentleman called John Blackledge is 5-star. His price target is about 355. It's a rating mechanism tip ranks has. So you can see by the various analysts out there, and you can see, so there is, even at the existing price, there is some upside. But I'm not a financial planner. You got to do your own research. But if I were you, I will buy a couple of shares every month from a long-term perspective, because I believe in CEO. I believe in the business they are in. I believe how they're executing. But make your own decision. It's not my decision for you. So this is what the market is thinking. This is, and I showed you what the CEO was thinking. Let's take a look at what people at Twitter are thinking. I'm quite active on Twitter these days, and I follow I follow several Twitter people who are active on Twitter, and many of them are pretty good. They give good insights into things. They're very experienced investors. Now, this is top 5 holdings of 20 of the best funds. Where is SC? Do we have SC? There's a hedge fund called Sands. It has SC as the top holding. There's the Light Street, which is SC as the top holding. There's the SC, there's Tiger Fund, which is SC holding here. So I think it just gives a bit of a assurance. I would say another data point. It's really not important for me but for some people it could be that big hedge funds are buying into it, because when the big money comes in, when the smart money or the dumb money, whatever you call it comes in, it helps. It helps. Momentum. It just shows the market confidence. So I think there's a gentleman called Chris Pirana. He's talking about what funds are buying and which companies are being bought. I think SC Shop, SC is pretty much at the top. Eugene, he's a Singapore-based investor. He runs his own fund called Vision Capital, and I think this is very very important. I think this is he got hold of some internal email which is floating around, and this is 8th May 2021 when Forrest Lee is saying 3 years ago I spoke of a dream of Sea becoming $100 billion company, having achieved that, and I want us to be bigger. And this is his note to his staff, or if I'm not wrong, Sea is riding high right now. Simply, it's not true, because success must be seen relative to ambition. One thing I value about Sea is what we have ever-growing ambitions. We are never satisfied with the status quo. And then he wants the company to become $1 trillion company. $1 trillion company, he's not talking in terms of revenue. He's talking in terms of market capitalization. So if you see today, I guess the market capitalization is about 160 billion. So it's about 1 trillion is about 6 to 7 times from here. Now, if you invest at this price and the CEO comes out to be right with this prediction of this mission, you're looking at a share price of about what, $2,000 if there is no share split. And that's an amazing return, isn't it? I mean, 6 times from here. It's already what, 30 times? That's a great investment. You can follow some of these people. Growth to Value, I follow quite a lot, and he's got some very good analysis on SE. It's one of his top holdings as well. You can follow him. Max Bozanko, he conducts some of kind of a Twitter Spaces, gets all the key people who are following the stocks and gets them talk. And you can follow him as well, and he posts some good stuff as well on the SE and go through it. This is, I think, the finance community at Twitter they call it FintwiT, and I think these are some of the top holdings, I guess. Nessie is one of them. There's a CIMB report somebody has posted out there. There's Thomas Chua. I think this is again a Singapore-based analyst. He does run a service, and he's talked about Shopping Malaysia becoming profitable. Puru Saxena is another guy who posts quite a bit, and I think he is one of his holdings. Is talking about. So there is general sentiment. You look at Kaushik, he runs service based in US. He's an investor himself. You can follow him as well. And then Mukund posts time to time some very good stuff on valuation, and you can follow him as well. He's talking about SC, earnings and how SC has blown the earnings. So pretty good if you see if you look at the results, if you look at the hard numbers, very good. If you look at the softer side of the company, what they're trying to achieve and accomplish, that is fantastic. If you look at what the analysts are talking about, I think that's also looks pretty good. And I can go through it once again, what it is. This is their price target. We will look at the stock analysis a little bit in more detail. Smart score is 8, which is, I think, more of the hard number based on earnings. Strong buy, blogger opinion, sentiment is bullish. Hedge fund activity is decreased. I think there is some profit taking possibly because the price is quite rich, and the good companies come at a rich price. Technicals are pretty good. So fundamentals, they're looking weak simply because it's based on the earnings. And I said that it's a growth business. You don't have to worry so much about the earning. You look about their revenue, how they're growing, and how they're implementing the strategy. So it all looks pretty good. The community is positive. The retail investor is positive. Institutional investor is positive. So overall, fantastic result, fantastic company. I think it's important for us to know what are the risks involved in the company. Looking at this, I can't see much of the risk, in my humble opinion. One risk which I feel sometimes as a shareholder, that the stock is getting too hot. It's good to know that everything is in one direction, that the sentiment is so positive on fundamental and technical. At the same time, it kind of a skeptic in me makes me feel that isn't it too positive? The stock has gone 30 times from its listing, and now its trajectory is up. So I think I'm just cautious that the expectations from the company are a lot. If something happens, if the company is not able to deliver on something, sometime the stock price might crash. So that's one thing I have. Second thing, it's not exactly a risk, but something we need to watch, that Indonesia is the biggest market in this region. And people who are the investors in Sea or people in Southeast Asia would know that, Tokopedia and Gojek have merged in Indonesia, making them the biggest company, one of the biggest companies in Indonesia, I guess. And they are pretty direct competitor to Sea Ltd in terms of, specifically in terms of e-commerce, as well as in terms of the fintech business of there. So there's a direct clash, and they will have to fight them out. And former founder of Gojek is a minister in Indonesia government as well. So in Asia, the connections matter a lot. So obviously that's not so much of a risk, but I think that's a bit of watch out. Even if they remain number two in Indonesia, it's still great. But becoming number one in Indonesia is going to be a challenge for them. They'll have to go all out there. So that's my bit of analysis on the earnings. Please do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial planner. I do it at a heart of hobby, and I like this company very much. The way they are doing their mission, their execution, it's all fantastic. So that's it from me. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Press that bell icon so that you know when I'm doing something next. Share it with your friends so that more people can see and benefit from there. That's it. Thank you from Singapore, and you'll see me soon again. Bye. Cheers.